Blessed love, everybody. How are you all doing? Oh no, it has been 1 week since I came back from Hong Kong, and I've wanted to do this video ever since I got there, but I just got so carried away, and since I came back I have been busy, trying to be busy. Just now I am trying lipstick. I I'm feminine, but there are just some things that I have not developed the patience for, and wearing lipstick is one of them. So I'm just practicing now. I think it looks really nice. Well, I'll continue to practice. Anyway, so I wanted to share with you guys about my impressions of Hong Kong. There are a few persons that mentioned that they wanted to go to Hong Kong and they were not sure what to expect. So I'm just going to share what my thoughts are in relation to Hong Kong. Of course, you guys know I did the video regarding how I got scammed in Hong Kong. But my trip was really an enjoyable one, and I went alone. My first vacation alone, and it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm just gonna share a few things that I was really impressed with about Hong Kong, and some things that you'd want to be careful of if you decide to go, or when you decide to go there. So one of the very first things I noticed was their infrastructure. Oh my goodness, their roads are immaculate and huge, as in wide, very wide. And you will see in a few of the pictures, the videos that I will share, like maybe not. Okay. So the infrastructure though is really good. Good roads. It's very scenic. Their transportation system is like phenomenal. I mean, anywhere across, well, I didn't go anywhere across the island, but for the places that I wanted to visit, I was able to access public transportation, and it made my trip so much more enjoyable and relaxing. I had enough time. I never had to be running and skipping and trying to figure out Google Maps and stuff. It was pretty easy to get around, and so that's something that I really enjoyed. One of the things that I found regarding their transportation system, whereas in other countries that I visited before, I've heard of, their bus system is usually a single, I don't know what you call it, single seat, single level buses. But in Hong Kong, the double-decker buses seem to have been the normal bus. Like all the buses, well, most of the buses that I saw were double-decker buses. And of course, I went to the top deck, and I got to sit at the front when I was going to the airport. So it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not accustomed to double-decker buses, so I had my fill when I went to Hong Kong. So one of the other things that I noticed, I was a little uncomfortable when I just got there, because when I looked around, everybody, almost everybody, maybe one in 1,000 or more, 3,000 persons had on sandals, and that's what I wore. I didn't take any sneakers or anything. I just decided to wear my sandal because I was traveling light. But when I got there, almost everybody was wearing sneakers. I was like, oh my goodness, I felt a little cute. But then, I started to relax. I mean, I was on vacation and I was going to enjoy it, sneakers or no sneakers. But that's something I found really interesting. I don't think I've seen it that way in here in Japan or in Korea. I mean, persons wear sneakers, but not everybody. So that was something. Or even if they didn't have on sneakers, they had on some closed shoes. Yeah, but most persons had on sneakers. So that was something that I noticed. One of the other things that I found really shocking was how many persons were in Hong Kong. That first night that I went there, I was like, oh my goodness, where did all these people come from? There were so many people. So congestion is a real thing, especially for where I was staying, which was in the area, I think it's Kowloon, I think so. So there were a lot of people, lot of traffic. Yeah, so it was a little congested. There were also a lot of hustlers. I didn't expect to experience hustling in Hong Kong. But yeah, when I just, and that's exactly how I got scammed, because there were so many people walking up to you, apartment, you want apartment, this good apartment, new apartment, this, re. Oh, so that was something I found really uncomfortable. But that was the only sad part of my trip. Well, actually, there was another thing. I had a really uncomfortable experience when I was going through customs, being the only the only black person on the flight. And when I was going through customs, a group of not a group, but a number of persons were walking through the customs hall and going towards the outside. And one of the customs officers, I was just walking, just carefree, just going about, looking at the signs and the people walking about as I was exiting. And out of nowhere, this customs officer sprang in front of me, almost as if he was attacking me. Like, I was so shocked, like, what is happening? Turns out he just wanted to see what was in my luggage. So they scanned it clearly, and of course they found nothing in it. But because, I don't know if it was because I was the black person in the going through, that I must have had something, some banned substance or something of the sort. But I felt really uncomfortable because I never saw that kind of interface with anybody else. And the fact that there were a number of persons who were going through, and he never accosted them that way. So I found it really uncomfortable, and I started getting upset. But I mean, I just dismissed it as for what it was. I had another encounter while I was there too. Not so dramatic this time, but I was walking towards a gentleman. I was going to ask him for directions, and I saw the man looking at me like, like in his mind he was saying, don't you dare come to me. Why would you be wanting to ask me anything? Don't ask me anything. That was the kind of look on his face. But I just dismissed it, and I approached him nonetheless. Then I asked what I wanted, and he told me he didn't know. I was asking him for directions, and he told me he didn't know where the place, what I was looking for. He didn't know where it was. Turns out that he works on the same building that I was going to, and he told me he didn't know. So I was like, okay. Anyway, I found it. So yeah, so those were the bad encounters I had in Hong Kong. But I thoroughly enjoyed my vacation. The attractions were really good. The cable car, the Peak. I went to Hong Kong Park as well. Those were really good. The food, oh my goodness, I did a video about Hong Kong foods. If you have not yet tried Hong Kong snacks, you definitely have to. They are super good, super good. I'd love to go back there right now just to have some more of those snacks. Believe me, they were really good. One of the things I noticed, I don't know if it is in the fast-paced nature of the Hong Kong people, but I noticed that there was a kind of and maybe aggressive is too strong a word, but like when they were taking the money, like I was paying for something and they were taking the money, it's almost like they were grabbing the money out of my hand. And it happened a few times. I'm not sure if that's because of the fast-paced nature of the individuals there or what, but that's something I noticed. I don't know if anybody else have noticed that, but it's something I noticed. And then they don't give you shopping bags, so if you go to buy anything, make sure you have something to put it with, put it in. I went to a store to buy, what was it, I think it was a personal item, and I paid for it, and you know, I noticed the man just left it on the counter. I was like, okay, how am I supposed to carry this? So fortunately I had my bag, so I just took it and put it in my bag. But they do not give you shopping bags. So, or if you decide to go to buy something, like maybe in a personal item store, or you know, maybe some lotion or shower gel or something like that, they will not give you a shopping bag. I don't know if you offer to pay for it, if they will, because I think I went into a store and they were asking me if I wanted to buy a plastic bag. So I don't know, but generally they don't. I forgot to mention the high-rise buildings. I have never seen so many high-rise buildings in all my life. Never. Hong Kong must have the record for the most high-rise buildings a country has ever had. Believe me, everywhere you turn, high-rise buildings, and they're like super high. Like the church that I went to was on the 75th floor, 75 floors. I had to take 3 elevators to get to the church, okay? 3 to get to floor number 75. So many high-rise buildings. Wow, I've never seen it. Check it. To say, I didn't know that the video was going to be 12 minutes. Oh my goodness. That Hong Kong was pretty safe. I know now they have the protests going on, but it's in a usually it's in a concentrated area. When I was there, I never experienced anything in relation to the protests, except when I was coming back, the bus to the airport was delayed. And when we were passing by a particular area, we noticed that there were a lot of policemen there, and it appeared that they had just cleared a roadblock. But apart from that, I never had any problems while I was there. It was, you know, pretty safe, and I don't think it's a major like people were asking me, why are you going to Hong Kong? They're having protests. And I know that that's something that the media blows out of proportion quite often, because it has happened in Jamaica. Like, you see things happening on the news and you think that all of Jamaica is under siege, when it's nothing, absolutely nothing like that. So I figured it was something, and of course I was being very careful and cautious. But I mean, sometimes we have to weigh the information that we receive from social media. So in a nutshell, my trip went really, really well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would love to go back to Hong Kong, but there are so many countries that I want to visit. I don't know if I will visit Hong Kong again, but for what it's worth, I thoroughly enjoyed it and I will cherish those memories forever. Oh, the only thing I wish I could have some more of is the food. The food was really, really good. The snacks, rice rolls and rice rolls and rice rolls. They were really good. Thank you very much, guys. I'm gonna run. I will see you another time. Toodles.